Well, folks, Trump's inauguration is just a few days away, and the crypto world is already buzzing.
It's hard not to be excited, especially with all this talk about Project Crypto and Trump's aim to make America, well, a Bitcoin superpower.
And today, we're going to dive into some really interesting analysis from Weiss Crypto Investor.
Yeah, they put out a piece on what a second Trump term could mean, specifically for Bitcoin and a few other
I think
altcoins.
you're going to, benefit big time.
Now, we should probably mention up front, this is a newsletter, right?
Definitely, they're in the business of getting subscribers.
So, we'll be approaching this with a healthy dose of skepticism.
Oh, yeah. Critical thinking caps on, for sure.
But that being said, they do bring up some really intriguing points.
For sure.
They've got their crypto expert, Juan Villaverde, making the case, and some of his predictions are, well, let's just say they're pretty bold.
Yeah, to put it mildly.
He's predicting Bitcoin could hit, get this, $150,000 in 2025.
$150,000. Wow.
Oh, and he's basing this on his timing model, which he says has accurately called every Bitcoin bull market since, I think it was 2012.
Every single one.
That's what he's claiming, yeah.
Okay, so talk us through this model. What's it all about?
So it's based on these 4-year cycles.
4-year cycles, huh?
Yeah, he calls them Big Bear, Transition, Big Bull, and then Bigger Bull.
Bigger bull, that sounds promising.
And he says, based on these historical patterns, that we're about to enter that bigger bull phase.
Interesting, but, past performance isn't always indicative of future results, right?
Absolutely. History doesn't always repeat itself perfectly, you got it.
But, we have seen these cycles play out before.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Those cycles are a real thing.
Okay, so let's play this out.
Let's say we do ride this bigger bull wave.
What does that actually look like? Why should our listeners care about these cycles?
Well, if Villaverde is right, we're not just talking about your typical, run-of-the-mill bull market.
So, something much bigger.
Potentially, yeah. He's talking about a massive surge in Bitcoin's value.
Bitcoin's already up almost 37% since Trump's victory, so the market's definitely reacting to something.
Yeah, that's a good point. Something's definitely happening.
And Villaverde thinks this surge could be driven by a bunch of things.
Like increased adoption, more favorable regulations, and maybe even some big moves from the Trump administration.
Speaking of the Trump administration, this is where it gets really interesting.
Oh, yeah, this is juicy.
Villaverde suggests we might see some really bold moves, like the creation of a strategic Bitcoin reserve.
A Bitcoin reserve. Interesting.
Using seized assets, apparently we're talking about over $18 billion worth.
$18 billion. Wow, that's serious money.
It would definitely be a game changer.
Imagine the U.S. government holding Bitcoin like a strategic asset, similar to how they hold gold.
It would legitimize crypto in a major way.
For sure, and it could send shockwaves through the traditional financial world.
And it ties in perfectly with Trump's whole crypto capital of the world thing.
Right, it all seems to fit together.
But, beyond just Bitcoin, Villaverde really got my attention when he started talking about this altcoin
Ah, yes, this altcoin.
that he believes could outperform even Bitcoin under a Trump presidency.
He even suggested it might overtake Ethereum. That's a bold claim.
That's a massive claim. So what is it? Spill the beans?
He doesn't reveal the name right away, likes to keep us in suspense.
Classic.
But he does drop some clues, get us thinking.
All right, give us the clues, lay 'em on us.
He says it's a strong rival to Ethereum.
Okay, rival to Ethereum, that narrows it down a bit.
He also says it has, get this, 433 times faster transaction speeds.
433 times, that's insane.
And on top of that, he says it has lower costs.
Okay, so cheaper and faster than Ethereum, I'm intrigued, but what are we even looking for here?
Right, what makes an altcoin a potential Ethereum killer?
What are the key characteristics, for someone who's maybe not as deep in the weeds as we are?
Well, one big one is scalability.
Scalability, right?
Yeah. The ability to handle a ton of transactions quickly and efficiently without breaking a sweat.
Yeah, that's been a major bottleneck for Ethereum.
Exactly, and it's something these newer blockchains are doing really well.
And then, of course, there's cost.
High transaction fees are a killer. Literally, they can totally hinder adoption.
So a true Ethereum competitor needs to be cost-effective.
Absolutely.
And Villaverde throws in this whole political angle, too.
Ah, yes, the political angle.
He suggests, Trump and his VP, J.D. Vance, might have a favorite.
A favorite horse in the crypto race, so to speak.
Now, Vance is a known crypto guy, right?
Big time. He's got a bunch of Bitcoin himself.
He's been pushing for crypto-friendly policies, too, even before becoming VP.
Definitely. He's been a big advocate in the Senate.
So it's pretty clear a Trump-Vance administration would be much more open to crypto than what we've seen lately.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about that. The winds of change are blowing.
The question is, how far will they go?
And which projects will they choose to support?
Right, that's the billion-dollar question.
Well, Villaverde has some thoughts on that. He seems to think he's got it figured out.
All right, lay it on us. What's Villaverde's theory?
So he claims Trump's been having all these closed-door meetings.
Secret meetings. With who?
With big names in the crypto world pitching his Project Crypto vision.
Okay, and this altcoin, the one he thinks will outperform Bitcoin.
Yeah, that one, he says it keeps coming up.
Interesting, so it's on their radar.
And get this, he claims that J.D. Vance himself
J.D. Vance, the VP.
is one of the top 5 holders of this mystery token.
Top 5? That's a pretty big endorsement.
Yeah, it's not nothing. We're talking a stake worth over $70 million.
$70 million. That's a serious chunk of change.
And then remember that crypto project Trump was teasing a while back?
The one spearheaded by his sons, Eric and Donald Jr.
Yeah, the defiant ones, right?
Yeah, the defiant ones.
Well, Villaverde strongly implies that this mystery coin could be the foundation of that project.
That's a very interesting connection.
It's all very intriguing, all these little puzzle pieces fitting together.
But we got to remember, we're getting this from a source with a clear agenda.
Right. They want us to be intrigued. They want us to subscribe to their newsletter.
So while the analysis might be solid...
We got to keep that in mind.
All right. Enough suspense. Let's cut to the chase.
Drumroll, please.
What is this coin?
The coin Villaverde is pointing to is Solana.
Solana. Okay, I've heard of it. It's been making some noise lately, but can you give us the rundown?
What's all the hype about?
For those who haven't been following it as closely.
All right, so Solana is known for its speed.
Speed, like fast transactions.
Yeah, we're talking high-speed transaction processing.
How fast are we talking?
They claim up to 6,500 transactions per second.
6,500 per second? That's way faster than Ethereum.
It's a different beast altogether.
Okay, so speed. Got it. What else?
Well, it uses this unique consensus mechanism.
Consensus mechanism. What's that?
It's basically how the network agrees on which transactions are valid.
Okay, makes sense.
And Solana's is called proof of history.
Proof of history. That sounds interesting.
It's designed for speed and efficiency.
So it's not just about hype.
No, there's real tech behind it.
And, it's attracting some serious institutional interest, too.
Oh, yeah, we're talking big names. Citibank, T. Rowe Price.
They're using Solana's tech to improve their financial services.
And then there's Grayscale.
The crypto investment giant.
They launched a Solana trust for their investors.
And even the state of California is looking into using Solana
to streamline how they interact with residents.
That's a pretty impressive list of early adopters.
It definitely is. It suggests there's real-world momentum behind Solana.
But again, we got to remember, we're getting this from a source that's trying to sell us something.
Always good to keep that in mind.
Their analysis might be spot on, but buyer beware, right?
Absolutely. Always do your own research.
All right, before we dive deeper into Solana and, see if it lives up to all the hype.
Villaverde throws us another curveball.
Oh, come on. What now?
He says there's another altcoin.
Another one?
Yeah, this one's connected to the AI boom.
AI, artificial intelligence.
That's the one.
And he thinks this one could also be a major player in Trump's Project Crypto.
The plot thickens.
Now, this whole AI thing is exploding right now.
It's going crazy.
The potential for AI and crypto to come together, it's huge.
Absolutely massive.
Imagine decentralized AI platforms, algorithms being shared and developed on the blockchain.
That's a whole other level of innovation.
I mean, he doesn't name this AI coin, which is a bit frustrating.
Yeah, got to keep us on the edge of our seats.
But he does say it's already pulled in investments from some big venture capital firms.
Like Sequoia Capital and Excel.
Those are big names.
And get this, tech giants like Google, PayPal, even Fidelity.
They're reportedly already using this coin's technology.
So this isn't just some pie-in-the-sky idea.
It's real. It's happening.
It has real-world applications, and it's being used by major players right now.
That speaks volumes. I mean, it really speaks to this convergence of AI and crypto.
And its potential to, well, disrupt a lot of industries.
Okay, so we don't have a name yet, but what can we take away from this?
What does it tell us about these AI-focused cryptos, in general?
What's the bigger picture here?
I think the takeaway is that this fusion of AI and crypto, it's happening now.
It's not just some futuristic fantasy.
No, it's attracting serious money and talent.
From some of the biggest names in tech and finance.
And this unnamed coin, with all its fancy backers and real-world uses.
It's a prime example of that potential, the potential that lies at the crossroads of these two, well, revolutionary technologies.
Revolutionary is a good word for it.
And with Trump back in the White House and a crypto advocate like J.D. Vance as his VP.
We can probably expect this whole thing to accelerate even more.
So while we don't have all the pieces just yet,
The picture's starting to emerge.
and it's one of significant opportunity,
Definitely something worth keeping an eye on.
especially in the AI crypto space.
Absolutely. Welcome back, everyone.
So last time, we left off with this mystery altcoin, the one Juan Villaverde thinks could be a major player in Trump's project crypto.
And he believes it might even outperform Bitcoin.
No small claim.
Definitely not, and he dropped some pretty big hints.
He said it's a strong competitor to Ethereum, boasts 433 times faster transaction speeds.
And it has lower costs.
Yeah, so cheaper and faster than Ethereum.
That's the idea.
All right, let's dive into this. What's the name of this supposedly game-changing altcoin?
The coin Villaverde is talking about is Solana.
Solana. Okay, I've heard the name, but I'm not super familiar.
Yeah, it's been making waves, but for those who haven't been following it closely.
What's the deal with Solana? What's all the hype about?
Well, at its core, Solana is a high-performance blockchain platform.
High performance.
And it's designed for speed and scalability.
Those are two pretty important things in the crypto world.
Absolutely, especially when you're talking about, being a potential Ethereum killer.
Right. Ethereum has had its struggles with those things.
Exactly, and that's where Solana comes in. It tries to address those issues head on.
Okay, so tell us more about this. How does Solana actually achieve this high performance?
Well, one of its key innovations is a consensus mechanism called proof of history.
Proof of history? I'm intrigued. Break that down for us.
So, in simple terms, it's like having a clock that timestamps every single transaction.
A timestamp for every transaction.
Exactly. So there's this undeniable record of when everything happened, in what order.
Okay, I see. So it's all about creating this verifiable history of transactions.
Right, and this eliminates the need for nodes to constantly communicate with each other to verify transactions.
Which I assume speeds things up significantly.
Exactly. It streamlines the whole process and makes it much more efficient.
So proof of history, that's one of Solana's secret weapons.
You could say that. It's a big part of what makes it so fast.
Okay, speed. Got it. But speed isn't everything, right?
Definitely not. There's more to it than just that.
What else makes Solana stand out? What are its other strengths?
Well, as we mentioned earlier, it boasts low transaction fees.
Which is a big deal, especially compared to Ethereum.
Oh yeah, we're talking a fraction of the cost.
So that makes it much more attractive for everyday use, for regular people.
Absolutely. It's all about accessibility.
And it's not just about, sending and receiving coins, right?
Nope. Solana is also attracting a growing ecosystem of decentralized applications, or dApps.
dApps, those are becoming more and more popular.
They are. They're basically applications built on blockchain technology.
So instead of being controlled by a single company,
They operate on this distributed network.
okay, I see. So that makes them more secure, more transparent.
And potentially more resistant to censorship.
That's pretty powerful. So what kind of dApps are being built on Solana?
We're seeing a wide range, from finance and gaming to social media and NFTs.
NFTs, those are still a thing.
Oh yeah, they're still going strong, especially in the art and collectibles world.
So Solana's providing a platform for all sorts of innovation in the dApp space.
It is. It's becoming a hub for developers who are looking to build the next generation of decentralized applications.
And we talked earlier about Solana attracting some pretty big names.
Oh yeah, the institutional adoption is impressive.
Citibank, T. Rowe Price, Grayscale. Those are some serious heavy hitters.
They're not messing around.
So what are they doing with Solana? Why are they so interested in it?
Well, they're exploring all sorts of use cases. They're seeing the potential of this technology.
Can you give us some specific examples?
Sure, Citibank, for instance, is looking into ways to improve cross-border payments and foreign exchange transactions using Solana's blockchain.
So streamlining financial processes.
Exactly, making things faster, cheaper, and more efficient.
Makes sense. What about T. Rowe Price?
They're interested in tokenized securities.
Tokenized securities, what are those?
They're basically digital representations of traditional assets like stocks and bonds.
Okay, so bringing traditional finance onto the blockchain.
In a way, yeah. And Solana is seen as a platform that can handle the complexity and scale of those kinds of transactions.
And then there's Grayscale. What are they up to?
They've launched a Solana Trust, which allows their investors to gain exposure to Solana without having to directly buy and hold the coins themselves.
So it's a way for institutional investors to get in on the action.
Exactly. And it's a big sign of confidence from a major player in the crypto investment world.
So it seems like Solana has some legitimate, real-world applications.
It's not just hype, there's substance behind it.
But the big question is it a real threat to Ethereum?
Can it actually dethrone the king of the smart contract platform?
That's the question everyone wants answered.
It's a tough one. Ethereum has a massive head start, a huge developer community.
And that first-mover advantage.
But Solana is gaining ground quickly.
It's attracting talented developers. Its technology is impressive.
And it's addressing some of Ethereum's weaknesses.
Like scalability and cost.
Exactly. Those are Solana's big selling points.
So it's like a classic David versus Goliath story.
With Solana playing the role of the underdog.
But we all know how that story ends.
Well, it's too early to say for sure, but the fact that Solana is even in the conversation is a testament to its potential.
A few years ago, nobody had even heard of Solana.
Now it's being mentioned alongside Ethereum as a potential successor.
That's pretty remarkable.
It's definitely an exciting development to watch, this whole race between Ethereum and Solana.
We will come out on top, only time will tell.
Only time will tell, but it's going to be fun to watch.
And speaking of watching, Juan Villaverde seems to think there's a connection between Solana and Trump's Project Crypto?
Ah, yes, the political angle. We can't forget about that.
He claims that J.D. Vance's substantial stake in Solana,
which we talked about earlier,
is a strong indicator of its potential role in the administration's crypto plans.
It's an interesting observation. Vance is definitely pro-crypto.
And he has a lot of skin in the game with Solana.
If Trump is serious about making America a crypto superpower,
which he keeps saying he is,
it would make sense for him to support a promising platform like Solana.
Right, it would fit with his whole America First narrative.
And with Vance as his VP, someone who's already a believer in Solana.
It wouldn't be surprising to see them push for policies that benefit the project.
But, and this is a big but.
Always a but.
We gotta remember where we're getting this information from.
Weiss Crypto Investor, a newsletter trying to sell us something.
Exactly. So while their analysis might be solid,
we can't just take their word for it.
We need to maintain a healthy dose of skepticism.
Always a good idea in the crypto world.
Especially when there's money involved.
Okay, so let's play devil's advocate for a second.
Let's assume, for the sake of argument, that Villaverde's claims are true.
That Solana does play a key role in Trump's Project Crypto.
What could that look like in practice?
What concrete actions might we see from the administration?
Well, one possibility is the creation of that strategic Bitcoin reserve we talked about earlier.
The one using seized assets.
Yeah, that would be a huge boost for the crypto industry as a whole.
It would signal that the government sees Bitcoin as a legitimate store of value.
Which could lead to wider adoption and potentially drive up the price.
And that could have a ripple effect on other cryptocurrencies like Solana.
Absolutely. The whole market could benefit from that kind of move.
Okay, so that's one possibility. What else could we see?
We might also see increased regulatory clarity and support for the crypto industry.
More favorable regulations.
Yeah, Vance has already shown that he's willing to push for crypto-friendly policies.
And with Trump's backing,
they could really create a more welcoming environment for innovation and investment in this space.
Which would benefit Solana and other promising projects?
Exactly. It's all about creating the right conditions for growth.
So if Villaverde's right, Solana could be riding a wave of government support and mainstream adoption.
That's the bull case, for sure.
But even with all that, there's no guarantee of success, right?
You bring up a good point. The crypto market is incredibly volatile.
It's a roller coaster.
Even with the best intentions and strong support, there's always risk involved.
No investment is a sure thing, especially in the crypto world.
That's something every investor needs to keep in mind.
Okay, so we've talked about Solana's technology, its institutional adoption, its potential to rival Ethereum.
And its possible connection to Trump's Project Crypto.
What are the key takeaways for our listeners? What should they be thinking about after hearing all this?
I think the main takeaway is that Solana is a serious contender in the blockchain space.
It's not just another flash in the pan.
It has impressive technology, a growing ecosystem, and strong institutional backing.
And it's addressing some of the key challenges facing the crypto industry.
Like scalability and high transaction fees.
Another takeaway is that this whole convergence of crypto and government is something to watch closely.
It could have a major impact on the future of the industry.
Especially with Trump back in the White House and a crypto enthusiast like J.D. Vance as his VP.
They could really shake things up.
And the final takeaway, and this is probably the most important one.
While the potential for big gains in the crypto market is real, you got to be careful.
Don't get caught up in the hype.
Do your own research, be skeptical, And don't invest more than you can afford to lose.
Sound advice.
Always a good reminder.
All right, so that's Solana, the altcoin Juan Villaverde believes could be a major player in the crypto world under a Trump presidency.
It's definitely a project worth keeping an eye on.
But now let's move on to that other altcoin Villaverde mentioned, the one tied to the AI boom.
The mystery coin.
We don't know its name yet, but we do know it's attracted investment from some big players.
And it's already being used in real-world applications.
So let's dive into that. Let's explore the potential of AI crypto convergence.
And see if we can uncover the identity of this enigmatic coin.
Welcome back, folks, for the final part of our deep dive into Project Crypto and how Trump's second term might shake things up in the crypto world.
And, of course, we got to talk about that mystery altcoin Villaverde teased, the one connected to the AI boom.
Yeah, the whole AI thing is just exploding right now. And when you combine it with crypto, well, things get really interesting.
It's like two revolutionary technologies colliding. The potential is massive.
But I think a lot of people have trouble wrapping their heads around it. Like, what does that actually look like?
Right. It can be a bit abstract, all this talk about AI and blockchain coming together.
So can you break it down for us? Like, what are some real-world applications of AI in the crypto space?
Sure. Imagine AI algorithms, working behind the scenes to make blockchain operations smoother and more efficient.
Smoother and more efficient. Okay, I'm listening.
We could see things like enhanced security, faster transaction speeds, even AI helping to predict market trends more accurately.
AI predicting market trends. Now, that would be something.
Think about it. Decentralized AI marketplaces where developers can buy and sell sophisticated algorithms.
So like an app store, but for AI. That's cool.
Or AI-powered prediction markets, using the wisdom of the crowd to forecast all sorts of events.
It sounds like the possibilities are pretty much endless.
It's a whole new frontier. We're just scratching the surface.
And speaking of scratching the surface, let's talk about this mystery coin, the one Villaverde hinted at.
The AI crypto fusion in action.
We know it's got some serious backing. Investments from big venture capital firms like Sequoia and Excel.
And even tech giants like Google, PayPal, and Fidelity are already using its technology.
That's a pretty solid track record, even without knowing the name.
It definitely suggests this project is more than just hype. It's the real deal.
So even though Villaverde kept the name a secret, can we at least try to narrow down the possibilities?
I think we can. Based on what we know, there are a few key things to look for.
Okay, hit us with the clues. What should we be looking for?
First and foremost, we need to focus on cryptos that are specifically designed for AI development and implementation.
So not just any old crypto will do.
No, we need projects that are tailor-made for this purpose.
Makes sense. What else?
They should have strong partnerships with established tech companies.
Like the ones Villaverde mentioned.
Exactly. That's a good sign that the project is being taken seriously.
And it's not just some, fly-by-night operation.
Right. We're looking for credibility and real-world partnerships.
What about the community behind the project? Is that important?
Absolutely. A strong and active developer community is crucial.
Because they're the ones building and improving the technology.
Exactly. They're the lifeblood of any crypto project.
And lastly, I think this is probably the most important thing.
We need to see real-world use cases.
Not just promises and hype.
Right. We need to see that the technology is actually being used, that it's solving real problems.
So no more meme coins promising the moon.
No, this is about substance over hype, about projects that are actually delivering on their promises.
Okay, I'm with you. So given all that, are there any AI-focused cryptos out there right now that fit the bill?
There are definitely a few that come to mind, projects that are worth taking a closer look at.
All right, let's hear it. Give us some names.
One that's been making a lot of progress is Fetch.ai. They're creating a decentralized machine learning network.
Decentralized machine learning, that sounds pretty advanced.
The idea is to allow devices to connect and share information autonomously without needing a central authority.
So like a network of AI-powered devices all communicating with each other.
Exactly. And that opens up a lot of possibilities for things like smart cities, supply chain management, even self-driving cars.
That's pretty cool. What other projects are on your radar?
There's SingularityNet. They're aiming to build a decentralized marketplace for AI services.
So you could go there and rent out your AI algorithms.
Or access AI services that you need without having to build them yourself.
That could be a game changer for businesses and developers.
And then there's Ocean Protocol. They're focused on data sharing.
Data sharing, that's a big issue in the AI world.
It is. AI algorithms need massive amounts of data to learn and improve.
And Ocean Protocol is trying to make that data more accessible, but in a secure and private way.
Exactly. They're building a platform where people can share their data and get rewarded for it while still maintaining control over their privacy.
Those are some really interesting projects. I can definitely see the potential there.
And they all seem to fit the criteria we talked about earlier: strong tech, solid partnerships, active communities, and real-world applications.
Now, I know Villaverde didn't explicitly say this, but I have a feeling that political connections might play a role here too.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. It's not just about the tech, it's also about who's backing it.
And with Trump back in the White House and J.D. Vance, a known crypto enthusiast, as his VP.
It's safe to say that the crypto world is going to get a lot more attention from the government.
And that attention could translate into favorable regulations, funding, even outright support for certain projects.
Absolutely. It's all about being in the right place at the right time.
So if Villaverde is right, and this mystery coin is part of Trump's Project Crypto.
It could be poised for some serious growth.
Okay, so to wrap things up, what are the key takeaways for our listeners?
I think the biggest takeaway is that the convergence of AI and crypto is happening now.
It's not some far-off future scenario.
It's already here, it's gaining momentum, and it's attracting serious investment.
And while there are always risks in the crypto world,
This is definitely an area with tremendous potential.
for investors and for society as a whole.
If you're looking for the next big thing, AI crypto is definitely worth paying attention to.
And who knows, maybe one of these projects we talked about today,
Could be the next Bitcoin or Ethereum.
or maybe even bigger, only time will tell.
But one thing's for sure, it's going to be an exciting ride.
All right, folks, that wraps up our deep dive into Project Crypto and the potential crypto plays under a second Trump presidency.
We've covered a lot of ground, from Bitcoin and Solana to the exciting world of AI crypto.
But as always, remember, this is just our analysis. Do your own research and never invest more than you can afford to lose.
The crypto world is full of opportunities, but it's also full of risks, so proceed with caution.
And most importantly, stay informed, stay curious, and keep exploring the fascinating world of crypto.
And don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next deep dive into the ever-evolving world of crypto.